moving into the semis here. Cesar having a dominant performance this last season, hopefully punching his ticket back into the NCAA tournament as he has before. A NYC RTC athlete, wrestles for the country of Brazil, has wrestled world teams and been on the senior circuit for some time now. Primed and ready after that postseason of last year, finishing out that quad, the Olympic year, heading into this next season, nice and strong. Here at 165 pounds, these guys are getting their hand fights going. Strong forward pressure, matching each other's levels.
Blaine Bergey really turned it on in his quarterfinal bout, 16-1 tech fall.
And they're gonna give a quick pause for an eye poke as they come back.
A lot of action behind us, in case you can hear that. The Cornell section just went wild for Julian Ramirez, who got a first period fall. So the winner of this one will take on the #1 seed from Cornell. Cesar Alvan's been one of the more impressive guys in this Columbia lineup this year. Somebody that head coach Donnie Pritzloff very high on throughout pretty much the entire season. And him and assistant coach Sebastian Rivera called the Lions season pretty much a complete 180 from the first semester to the second.
Yeah, it's been a very different room. With the Columbia team and many of these other teams, due to the Ivy League's kind of regulations on how many seasons you can wrestle or how many years you can be, in the Ivy League, many of our men will take gray shirt years where they take not only time off from school, but also time off from the mat. They wrestle with whatever affiliated regional training center they have. Cesar is one of those guys, and what that means is if you're taking a semester off in the fall, these guys aren't coming back until the next year in the spring. And so that second semester is really when you get that flood, that influx of the 4 or 5 guys that weren't in the room the year previous, which just adds a completely different, atmosphere, training atmosphere, different community. And so he was one of those guys.
We're going to get another violation here. That's now the third warning, essentially, to Alvan. Because Bergey got poked in the eye twice in that last one right there. As the officials did not like that hands to the face. So that is a point for Bergey. We have a point on the board. And look at this single leg as Alvan goes right back to work looking for a trip. Bergey trying to fend it off with a whizzer. Nice trip by Alvan. He comes around, and there's 3. He's up 3-1.
Seems with maybe a little bit of vengeance against that call. He gets his points really quick. Now Bergey up to his feet. Cesar looking for a mat return right on the edge. And they're going to wrestle through that position and get reset.
Cesar Alvan, 21-8 this year. It's a career high in wins for him in a single season. On a 3-match winning streak. He was a national qualifier back in 2023 for the Lions. Managed to get there. Unfortunately went 0-2 at NCAA, so looking to improve upon that. As you just mentioned, took that gap year last year in mind with the NYC RTC. Got away from school a little bit as well. And now, back to work here this year, up a weight at 165 and certainly wrestling his best.
Yeah, he qualified for the World Championships, I believe at U23s, and was a Pan American silver medalist not too long ago with a strong showing in this last quad. He's well decorated in the freestyle world, wrestles for Team Brazil.
Good mat return here to get Bergey back flat as they go out of bounds with 23 seconds to go in this opening period.
52 seconds on ride time in favor of Cesar Alvan. 1-3 here in the first period. A lot of action going on.
This is a weight class that only has 2 allocations, so you got to get to the final. So the winner here will punch their ticket along with Cornell's Julian Ramirez. And Coach Pritzloff mentioned guys like Alvan and, of course, Jack McGill at 174, who we'll see as well.
And now
a little easier road, just 1 win, and now he's going to drive in here.
Yeah, off of that roll-through attempt by Bergey, Cesar's able to capitalize that angle and drive him right back down to the mat. That's going to do it for the first period. As we move into the second period, it's going to be Red's choice.
Another look at that takedown from Alvan right there. Good inside trip. We'll set to begin the second period as Alvan will go down here. 2 minutes back on the clock. Bergey's going to try to go to work on top here. And a false start on, they're going to give a caution actually on Bergey for the quick flinch right there.
Cesar quick to his feet. Bergey doing a good job of staying behind him. Breaks the lock and gets his 1-point escape.
3-point lead for Alvan. Riding time a factor currently as Bergey gonna have to do a little bit more work on the feet. And a 16-1 tech fall in the quarters.
Inside control by Cesar Alvan. Bergey snaps it off.
Alvan trying to work that underhook. He's going to drive Bergey down to the mat. He's got that whizzer in momentarily. Has to let it go. And Cesar Alvan's got a takedown. It's 7-1.
Cesar doing a really good job. Was looking for that outside knee drive or that knee pick, and then turned it into more of a body lock situation. Using good pressure just to bring him down to the mat and getting his takedown. That was more of an opportune time kind of a takedown. Bergey kind of opening himself up for a second and Cesar taking advantage of it. Now here on the edge, riding hard is Cesar. Bergey still hasn't had an answer for his pressure. Hasn't been able to find his offense.
There were some swipes momentarily, but they were not consecutive, so that's why there's no near fall there for Alvan, in case you were wondering, as he was working there on the edge. Restart in the center, 48 seconds to go in the second period.
Bergey tries to clear those hands, but Cesar cuts the angle and goes back to the legs, follows through on that roll attempt.
Good follow by Alvan going out of bounds there.
They're going to reset. 38 seconds left here in the second period. 1 minute and 53 seconds of ride time, which gives Cesar a pretty strong advantage in terms of ride time. Another roll-through attempt, and Cesar almost catches Bergey on his back and runs that angle back down to break Bergey back down. He was almost free for a second. Cesar was able to catch that leg as he was turning away. 15 seconds left here in the second period.
With short time, Cesar Alvan's going to keep that foot caught for the moment, and this ride is very tough with a boot in. Bergey just unable to shake him off here, and Cesar Alvan's going to build up 2.5 minutes of riding time going into the third period. He's up by 6. We're going to punch his ticket to the Ivy League Finals, as well as NCAA's. Another look at Alvan's work. Neutral start. Bergey didn't want to hang out on bottom, so he's going to have to do some work on his feet. He's going to need multiple takedowns here. Bergey chasing that one. Good fakes and level changes, though, as Alvan staying composed in the center. Bergey trying to chase that leg, and a good sprawl backing away by Cesar Alvan, now working the over-under position.
Bergey looking for something there on the edge, but Cesar almost kind of faking at a sweep attempt and then turning it into his own action on the edge.
Good misdirection there by Alvan along the edge. Bergey is going
Straight
to have to
into a
defend
leg
this now.
is Cesar.
Good takedown there by Cesar Alvan to start pouring it on. Now it's 10-1.
If he can get a turn here, we might be hitting major decision, or sorry, tech territory.
Yeah, riding time is already locked, so it's essentially a 10-point lead for Cesar Alvan. A date with Julian Ramirez awaits in the finals. Blaine Bergey, if he manages to get up, is going to have to throw caution to the wind in order to even have a chance here, as Alvan has been well in control now, working that hammerlock behind the back.
A little bit under 40 seconds here, and Cesar seems to be calling for the official to call for action from Bergey.
Trying to load up that armbar now on the right side.
Yeah.
Good job by Bergey to belly back down and avoid getting turned. Time's a waste, and there's a stall call on Bergey.
Hard crossface by Cesar. Has that cross wrist locked up. Is looking to bring that outside leg over, keeping Bergey broken down. Good top pressure, and that's going to do it. There's about 5 seconds left in this third period. 1-10 plus ride time. 11-1 for Cesar Alvan.
Dominant display for Cesar Alvan, the 2 seed, getting the 11-1 major decision, and he's off to the Ivy League finals. He'll take on Cornell's Julian Ramirez, and Alvan is now a 2-time NCAA qualifier. What a season for him, and it continues.